Hi there guys, welcome to PowerDrift. We are going to have a very interesting conversation, so pay attention. Wait, hang on. Let's begin. Because we are going to talk about a car that is perhaps Skoda's best kept secret until the month of March, that is, which is when the car that we are here to talk about is going to world premiere. But we got fortunate because we got to drive the prototype of this very car a few days ago. This car is the first product then born out of their strategy India 2.0. Very little was known about this car, but then to talk about this car now, let's, believe it or not, teleport ourselves. Follow me.
And so we teleport ourselves to a different location through the time to the day when I actually drove the car. First of the few first drives of 2021, which helped us begin the year with a bang. So ladies and gentlemen, get ready to say, no, hang on, you can't say hello and you will only speak when you're spoken to. So ladies and gentlemen, Your Highness, the Skoda Kushaq.
So I have with me a crumpled piece of paper which acted like my notebook when I was driving the car. Now keep in mind, since very little is allowed to be told about this car, we shall be speaking in code words.
Now, unless you have X-ray vision installed in your eyes, there's no real way of telling how good looking the king here can really be. And I hope to Lord that you don't have any X-ray vision, for without the camouflage here, the car is a good looking one, but I'm not so sure about myself. So for the purposes of discussion, it's best if we teleport ourselves back through time and to a different location, back to the studio.
The Skoda Kushaq is going to be equipped with two very well thought out engine options. The 1.5 litre 4-cylinder TSI and the now hugely refined 1 litre 3-cylinder TSI. I say now hugely refined because this is the same engine as seen on the Skoda Rapid. TSI meaning, of course, you're going to get world-class technology to have both performance and efficiency. It's true because these engines never feel underpowered and have DSG or a very quick torque converter to boast of. So to sum it up, the Skoda Kushaq is going to come equipped with 1.5 litre and 1 litre 2 engine options, and it's going to have 3 gearbox options: manual gearbox, automatic torque converter and the very fast DSG transmission. Point being, the experience of driving the Kushaq was then the highlight because you couldn't really see any part of the car, and that's when DSG really came into play. And so I went out looking for slow downshifts. So the upshifts were quick and smooth, and equally quick and perhaps even smoother were the downshifts. So D4 to D2 even before you could blink your eye without any jerk at all. Yeah, so that's really about it when it comes to the driving experience. In terms of ride quality, so the damping and rebound at lower amplitudes felt to be a little bit on the stiffer side. As soon as the speeds increased, then you thought that the car was doing a better job on road irregularities. Again, not a lot can be commented on these things, especially when the cars are prototype. The ease of operating the Kushaq in city and on highways was clearly felt, but will be difficult to comment on how the steering really was in terms of feel and feedback or the weight of it at high speeds because they were prototypes, and all of this will be improved till when it's in its final iteration. So let me tell you that what I actually can, which is a description of what the Skoda Kushaq really drove like when I was driving it. So when I was driving the Kushaq, all that I could see was really the windshield and that what was ahead of me, which was, by the way, Karthikeya driving his Kushaq. And when I looked to the left, well, the dashboard was all camouflaged again, it was all covered up, so you couldn't really tell anything except an air vent right at the corner there, which made me think that the Kushaq then indeed could look a whole lot like the concept car that we saw at Auto Expo. And the steering itself was not a 3-spoke steering wheel, it was a 2-spoke steering wheel, not a flat bottom steering wheel, and it had lovely knurlings for steering mounted audio controls that my thumb would constantly love to play with. The big question that was popping in my head again and again was, is this going to be a car with good road presence, or is this going to be a car that would look bigger than its competition? I think it won't look bigger than its competition, but now I think that it doesn't even matter.
While Skoda has been very tight-lipped and hush-hush until the world premiere that will happen in March, they have let us in on one number, which is 2651 mm, and that's the wheelbase of the car, longer than the car up if you think about it, and given the engineering prowess of the Skoda engineers, I think it's safe to assume that they should have excavated a whole lot of cabin space on the inside. That would be clever, and there would be more simply clever features that the car's going to come loaded with. But again, like I said, we are tight-lipped about it until March. Back to the studio.
If I'm allowed to explain the India 2.0 strategy, I think it is Skoda's unique strategy that is going to allow you a European car buying and car ownership experience at a great value. And I think that's the direction in which Skoda is headed. Now, the Kushaq is, by the way, entering a very hotly contested segment, a segment where there are Cretas and Seltos and XV500s and Nexons and a whole lot of cars, by the way. And each car that has entered into this segment, irrespective of which manufacturer it came from, only managed to increase the size of the segment instead of eating into each other's shares. So, if Skoda can get the right product out here, it can do wonders. And you see that they're going to be tripling their touch points throughout the country. You see that they're coming up with a car that will be priced very competitively, and I think this is going to be that car. And so you start to make sense out of the entire India 2.0 strategy, where Skoda is going to make that what matters to the Indian market. In fact, they even say that, and thereby deliver tremendous value, starting from say 10 lakh rupees all the way to 16 lakh rupees could be the price bracket for the Kushaq. In that sense, it will compete against a lot of competitors. And then again, the Karoq, which is currently at 25 lakh rupees because it's a CBU, will then cost 19 or 20 lakh rupees because it will be assembled here, CKD, parts and components, PNC, whatever the name. Essentially, Skoda having a lot more in this range of 10 lakh rupees to 22 lakh rupees to play with. And then of course are the flagship Superb and Kodiaq. Now, it was easy to know that these were prototype cars, yes, because the airbag symbol that went on, that stayed on lit all the time. The driver airbag was still on, but then the other airbags weren't working. In terms of safety, of course, this is going to be a car that will come equipped with all sorts of safety. I'm also told, of which I'm not sure whether I should be revealing this or not, I'm told that ESC, electronic stability control, will be standard on all variants. Point being that these were prototype cars, and one of them felt more of a prototype than the other. So the 1-liter Kushaq with manual gearbox, that seemed to be less of a prototype, that seemed to be having all its creases ironed out, and it was immensely refined. The 1.5-liter one, though the gearbox stole the show there, the engine, even though it is a 4-cylinder one, seemed to be a little on the coarser side, right from mid-range to top end. Now again, every experience of these prototypes stands to be bettered and improved, only improved as we get to see the final iterations of the Kushaq. Alright, so the randomness begins here. We know Kushaq to be the 4th SUV for Skoda in India after Yeti, Kodiaq, Karoq. It will be Kushaq. We know the name came about in existence because, well, they had 5 names on the table and they were choosing between all the names, Konark, Click, etc. We also know that Kushaq's platform is called... no, wait, I can't tell you the name of that platform. Can I tell them the name of this platform?
Can I actually open the door and sit inside?
No.
Okay. Now the engine here, the 1. Can I open the bonnet and show them the engine?
No.
Okay. Maybe roll down the windows and peep in and no. Okay.
No chance.
So, okay. So there's not much left for us to discuss. Everything that I know has been imparted to you. We hope and we really wish Skoda all the best, because when the king rolls, it is going to roll on the red carpet into a very hotly contested segment. And so I hope to see you soon when we hope to see the car.
Alright, don't feel bad, don't feel disappointed by Skoda. In fact, it is very, very reassuring for a manufacturer to call journalists onto a drive where thousands of hours of effort that designers put in is actually not even shown to you, because it's all camouflaged and aesthetically you can't really see anything about the car. So the main scope of work when it comes to these drives, camouflaged or covered drives, is you get to feel and sample the very core functions of the car, which is the engine, the gearbox, the drivetrain and the suspension or ride quality, which can be tweaked further and further. But the big answer then as to what I felt like was, well, it looked like they've done a good job of it, and it only stands to reason that from here on the prototype will only be bettered with all the feedback from all the journalists, all the experts in India. So here's wishing Skoda all the best with the Kushaq. In March there will be a world static premiere, which is when you will actually get to see the car. and post that there's going to be a strategy of continuously working at the product and improving it. Thank you very much. Let us know if you have any questions. I don't know if we can answer them in the comment section below. I'll see you again talking about the same car, the Skoda Kushaq. Goodbye.
Alright guys, so there is the Skoda Kushaq. I can't believe what we are about to do. Skoda doesn't want you to see anything about the car, but here's a chance. There's no one standing by the car. We're gonna take a quick peep inside the Kushaq. Now you're gonna see this only on PowerDrift. Follow me.
Rohan, no.